Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys had a great night tonight. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I'll have videos for NFL coming up soon. I do XFL content. We have people doing PGA stuff. We have people doing MLB coming up. A lot of stuff in store. We do esports in Discord. This is all in Discord. Discord link will be down below. A lot of very sharp people in my Discord that play all sports. We talk about all sports. But these NBA videos will be posted on this subreddit called DF Sports right here. You can find my post. My username is Shook. I make updates with all of the news that comes out. There wasn't much news today, so no updates. If you have any questions, I will always answer you if you have questions on like pivots, stuff like that. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out. Also, if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, have any questions about anything, or if you just need someone to talk to, I'll always respond to you guys. So my username right here on Twitter is Tori Langley 1992. So if you ever need to rant, ever need some strategy advice, stuff like that, yeah, feel free to message me on Twitter. So it's honestly rough out here for me boys right now. I mean, I think I'm down like $500 since the All Star break. I think I've had like 4 or 5 cashing days since the All Star break, and it's been bad. I've been dealing with some very bad variants, like some very bad variants. I just need one slate where like no bullshit happens, but as you can see, my lineup today was Halliburton, Desmond Bain, Tari Eason, Bobby Portis, Day'Ron Sharpe, Drew Holiday, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas. So I got everything right once again with the rotations, with the Brooklyn value, stuff like that. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. I sometimes I'll live stream before a lock, stuff like that privately. I make in-depth content as well, player pools, stuff like that, cores in my Discord down below. Like I said, link will be down below. But we really try to hammer in like how to get contrarian in the right ways. Um, and today, this is kind of what I told everyone. If you think Milwaukee can keep it close, play Drew Holiday, play Bobby Portis. I ranked the Milwaukee main guys as Drew Holiday 1, Bobby Portis 2, Chris Middleton 3. Middleton was by far my least favorite Milwaukee Buck of the main guys. So I said, if you think this game stays close, absolutely jam in Portis, jam in Drew Holiday. Unfortunately for me, the game did stay close, and Drew Holiday just had an absolute worst game I've ever seen from him with Giannis out. Didn't shoot a ton. He just looked very uninterested out there. But the core that I had for today was just unfortunate. Desmond Bain, he busted. Drew Holiday, he busted. Cam Thomas, he was okay. Day'Ron Sharpe smashed. So 2 out of 2 on the core. I guess you can call Halliburton a core play because I told everyone I was playing Halliburton. I thought he was the best sped up on the slate. I even said that in my public video yesterday. Hopefully you guys got to Halliburton. He absolutely nuked the slate. Almost 20 assists. That's absolutely wild from him. But yeah, like I said, there are multiple ways to go about the Brooklyn situation. Also, Vaughn. I saw a quote on Twitter before lock about Vaughn limiting Mikal Bridges. So I'm like, okay, do not play Mikal Bridges. I posted it all over Discord. I posted it in multiple Discords. Helped a lot of people out with that news. So if that helped you out, awesome. But yeah, posted it everywhere. Mikal was limited. I did not expect Seth Curry and Dorian Finney-Smith to only play like 10 minutes. I really did not. I was very shocked by that. As you can see, Dorian Finney-Smith was in my lineup tonight, and I thought it was pretty good value, especially with the Bridges limit. I thought he was going to have to play around 30 minutes if this game stayed close, and Vaughn just had other ideas, apparently. Like, Vaughn is at the top of the list for me now with the worst coaches in the league. He has to be at the top. Um, I don't know what to say. I really don't. And Desmond Bain, I fear Desmond Bain is just bad at basketball. I fear. Desmond Bain, I fear, is just bad at basketball. And then it would I only finished 10 points out of the cash. Cash line was 269. Or, yeah, 268, 260. I was right there with 3 fantasy points from Dorian Finney-Smith, with a massive 4 game from Drew Holiday, with a massive 4 game from Desmond Bain. Also, what I said in the Discord is if I was playing more than one lineup tonight, if I was playing 20 lineups tonight, I would either have Tyus Jones in all of those lineups or Desmond Bain. I would play either Tyus or Bain in all of those lineups. So, like, if you split, I was extremely high on Tyus, extremely high on Bain. I picked wrong, obviously. That didn't work out for me, but I felt very, very good about the process there with Tyus and Bain. Obviously, Tyus broke the slate. And then any other things that I should mention besides Vaughn is a fucking asshole and a pussy. Sorry, excuse my language, but fuck you, Vaughn. I don't think there's anything else I should add. Oh, also, so I did consider Jordan Awara, but Mathurin getting injured definitely helped him. I had 4,200 left for forward. I thought Dorian Finney-Smith was it. Just super, super unfortunate. What else? What else? Is there anything else that I forgot to mention? Oh, okay. I was considering Jabari Smith over Tari Eason. I really, really was. But I thought with the resurgence of Tari Eason gaining minutes and with Jabari Smith losing minutes, that I thought Eason was the better play. You guys want to see what Jabari Smith ended with tonight? He played 47 minutes, went for 30, 12, and 3. When I finally buy into Eason at low ownership, he plays less minutes, and Jabari Smith gets a 30-point double-double and plays 42 minutes in regulation. That's absolutely wild. They're also playing Jabari at the 5 so we might have to hop on Jabari before the field does. I think we might have to. Because if they're going to run that rotation and play him at the 5 like they are doing, we're going to have to get ahead of that, in my opinion. But yeah, I was considering Jabari because the matchup was so good. And I wanted a low-owned piece from this Houston game. I didn't want to play Jalen Green. I thought Jalen Green was pretty bad chalk. He was mega busting until the game went into overtime and that fourth quarter. But I felt very, very good about fading Jalen Green today. He did fine, but yeah. I think that's enough of my rant. I think that's enough. I think we got everything out there. But like I said, guys, yeah, we got a 6 game slate for tomorrow. Brooklyn guys, I believe, will be back in. Yeah, pretty sure they'll be back in. Claxton due to right thumb sprain, right knees. That's such bullshit. Are they actually? Is Claxton and Cam actually injured? Obviously, Ben's not gonna play. Left knee soreness, or is that made up bullshit? I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, Discord link will be down below. We have NBA. I do XFL content. We've been absolutely printing in the XFL. We have cashed, I believe, every week. We have cashed in cash games. I do a whole player pool stuff like that, so check that out. We have sharp people playing PGA all day, talking strategy here. Jay gonna do a bunch of MLB stuff, so yeah, definitely check it out. I think it's incredible, incredible community, in my opinion, and probably the best Discord I've ever been in. And I'm not saying that just because it's mine. I truly, truly mean that. So, all right, let's get into this breakdown. Atlanta at Washington. We just saw these two teams play, I believe, a few days ago. It's a good matchup for both sides. So Trae Young, I still like the ceiling for him at 9.3K. Definitely not getting him at the discount he was at 8.8K last slate. My only concern with Trae Young is he is not playing huge minutes right now. Like, he's only going to play like 32, 33 minutes a game, which he could still absolutely smash. That is the only thing docking him. Like, if I knew Trae Young was going to play like close to 40 minutes ago, like he was like back here, I would say he's too cheap at 9.3. But With him only playing around 33, 32 minutes a game, it's definitely a little bit concerning, but I still like the upside for Trae Young. I think DeJounte Murray is much, much easier to get to. Also, Washington is very, very bad. They're okay against point guards. They're worse against shooting guards. So I think the matchup overall is much, much better for DeJounte Murray, and you have the price discount at 7.7K. So I think DeJounte Murray is a pretty solid play tomorrow, and if he's going to be low owned, I am going to be all over that for GPP. So I do like both the main two guys here for Atlanta. Definitely a lean to DeJounte Murray. I finally buy into Clint Capella in a phenomenal matchup. You guys always know I always like to attack Daniel Gafford. Whenever there's a center playing Daniel Gafford, I usually play that center going against him. Um, got into a bit of foul trouble. I want to say he probably would have played close to 30 minutes if he did not get into foul trouble. So I like the ceiling on Capella. I wish the price was cheaper. I think the matchup is great. So I think he's a decent GPP play. The wings, I don't really have too much interest in. Like Hunter, Bay, Bog, they're just all okay. I think Hunter is your safest option where he'll play the most minutes. Sadiq Bey, I think, has a similar ceiling, but the minutes could be all over the place, like we saw last game. Bog will play the least of the bunch, but will be the most productive of the bunch while he's out there. They all look pretty similar to me. No standouts here. You saw John Collins play 29 minutes again. I don't know if that will happen again. Maybe benefited from Clint Capella getting into foul trouble. I'm not sure. I didn't watch that game. But if I knew Collins would play 29 minutes again, I would like him at 4.2K for value. But there's also the chance to where he only plays, I don't know, 22-ish minutes. So I think Collins is definitely a reasonable value play. And if he would play 30 minutes, I definitely would like him for value. Let's move on to Washington. So it's a good spot. We saw the pace of this game last game. This game was played pretty fast paced. It was a very good environment for DFS. So I think all the Washington main three guys are very intriguing. If I had to rank them, I would rank them Beal 1, Porzingis 2, Kuzma 3. But I think all three of these main guys look solid to me. They still started DeLon Wright with Monte Morris back. If DeLon starts again, I think he's a pretty safe play, pretty good cash game play. Don't know if we'll have the ceiling in GPPs for it to be worth it for me to play him. He could definitely still pop off, but not a priority, but a pretty safe play. I don't think I can get to anyone else on the Washington side though. Let's move on to Portland. So this should be a great game. We have to keep an eye on Simons here. So if Simons is in, there's not much that stands out to me. Like obviously Dame has a ceiling. Simons being back definitely does hurt him, though. Would be a little bit less interested. Also, the matchup is not great. Would be a fine tournament play. Grant, I would not play with Simons back. Too big of a hit. Price is up as well. Simons himself, I would assume, be on a limit. Nurk on a limit, so can't go there. Cam Reddish would be out of play. Thibault would still be playable, but you guys know the drill. I don't play Thibault too much in DFS. It is a revenge game narrative if you're into that, but there's just uh, not much outside of Dame if Simons is in. If Simons is out, then I still think you can get to Dame at 10.9K. It's just the ceiling with him with no Simons. He is one of the highest usage rates in the league. He's matchup proof. I know that Philly plays slow. I know the game environments are pretty bad. I know they play good defense, but he has the absolute ceiling to absolutely knock this slate off. And you saw it here. He went for 60 against Philly last time they played. So peripheral stats are up as well. Does have triple double upside. We saw it here. Definitely unlikely, but could happen. So Dame, I always think is a good GPP play. Jeremy Grant would be playable if Simons is out. Seems like a okay play. Gonna play huge minutes. Good rebounder. Not gonna get a ton of assists, but decent scorer. Good rebounder. Will play huge minutes. Perfectly fine if you want to go there. Nurk can't get to him. Reddish probably plays close to 40 minutes. 5.5K seems about right for him, but fine. And then Thibault would be okay. And then, yeah, I wouldn't mind going to Shaden Sharp in GPPs. I think we get around 20 minutes for him. He's going to be pretty productive when he's on the court. Going to chuck the ball while he's out there. So if Simons is out, if you guys want a sneaky value play, Shaden Sharp is that guy tomorrow if Simons is out. Let's move on to Philly. So I really like Embiid. I don't think Nurkic is going to be able to stop him at all. I really like the spot here. So sign me up for some Embiid. I think Harden looks solid at 10.3K. Just look at the amount of minutes that these main guys are playing for Philadelphia right now. So um, Embiid went for 62 in 28 minutes against Gobert. Imagine what he's going to be doing against Yusuf Nurkic. So I like both the top two Philly guys quite a bit. I don't like anything else though. We have Harris back, so that's going to take Melton out of play at that price. Tobias Harris I think is overpriced. Tyrese Maxey I think is overpriced with everyone healthy. So really just the top two guys for Philly for me. Let's move on to Cleveland. So very, very unappealing game here. We saw these two teams play the other day as well. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. Like they're all fine GPP plays, but this is not a game that I want to get involved in my one lineup. If I was playing 150 lineup, sure, I would sprinkle in some Donovan Mitchell, I'd sprinkle in some Garland, I'd sprinkle in some I don't know Jared Allen at that price, maybe some I don't know I think that would be it, to be honest. I don't know if I'd play Mobley at that price, but really nothing here for Cleveland. Like, Mitchell does have a ceiling. Garland, I think, is priced appropriately. Mobley, I think, is a little bit overpriced. Jared Allen, like, if it wasn't a bad matchup, I would say 6.2K does seem cheap. So I think Jared Allen might be my favorite play from Cleveland. Karis LeVert, he'll play mid 20s minutes. Seems like a reasonable value to me. Not a lot of value on this slate, so I think Karis is definitely an okay value. Seems okay to me. Solid to okay. And then I won't go to anyone else who was messaging me. On to Miami. So, same thing I said about Cleveland. There's not much that stands out to me, but once again, I think I prefer the Miami side to the Cleveland side. We saw Jimmy Butler have a pretty big game in this matchup last game. Like, matchups aren't going to deter him. Phenomenal defender, can get those blocks, steals. Gonna stuff the stat sheet as well. Probably play mid 30s minutes too. So I don't mind Butler. I definitely prefer him to the Cleveland guys, and I think Bam I would prefer to the Cleveland guys as well. Definitely struggled. I don't like the matchup at all, so probably a fade for me. But actually no, I prefer Jared Allen point per dollar to Bam, but Butler definitely my favorite play on Miami. Tyler Hero no. Oladipo no. Kevin Love, fine option at 4.4K, just not playing a ton of minutes. Excuse me, I have to cough. Sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on there. We have Kyle Lowry, obviously, out. Gabe Vincent, meh. Okay option. Caleb Martin will play 30 minutes. Once again, just okay. So, yeah, that'll do it for Miami. Let's move on to Brooklyn. So, I believe everyone's going to be back. It's hard to say right now, but I believe everyone will be back for this game. So let me just check Underdog. Let me see if we got any updates for Brooklyn. We have not. Okay, so I think everyone will be back. If that is the case, it's a pace-up spot, and they go back to their normal rotation where they're doing like a 7-man rotation and everyone's playing 40 minutes. I like the Brooklyn guys. Like, I like Bridges. I really like Dinwiddie. I don't like Claxton. Definitely don't like Claxton. Cam Johnson would be a very, very safe play. Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, is a little bit overpriced, but I would like the main three quite a bit. In Bridges, Dinwiddie, Cam Johnson. They're just playing pretty much the entire second half. These three are just cooking the usage. It's just awesome to see as well because Dinwiddie's dishing on assists, Bridges hitting shots, Cam Johnson is just doing everything and stuffing the stat sheet, and they're all playing huge minutes. So if they're all in, I'm very, very, very high on the Brooklyn Nets, like I've been for the past like 5 videos. I don't think they're priced up enough for the rotation that they are running right now. If they're out again, I really don't know what to do. Your guess is as good as mine as what they're gonna do. What I will say, if they're out again, Day'Ron Sharpe is amazing. How many minutes did Nerlens end with tonight? 18 would be playable. And then it's like up to you. Do you think they're gonna limit Bridges again? Do you think they're gonna limit Dorian Finney-Smith again? Do you think they're gonna limit Mikal Bridges again? Do you think they're gonna limit Seth Curry? Because I really don't know. It's extremely, extremely hard for me, and I'm sure the industry, to project what's going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets. So I think tomorrow with the Nets, if they are all out, you're going to have to be on Twitter. You're going to have to be asking beat writers what they think and what they hear. You're going to have to do a lot of work if they are all out. I will be doing all that work. I will make updates in Discord and stuff like that. So it's really going to be interesting to see. Right now, it's just hard to say. It's really hard to say. This is a wait and see. I'll make updates when we do get some sort of news. So not the best matchup. Depends on whether the Brooklyn guys are in. I think Ant's an okay contrarian play. Been very, very bad of late. I think he's a bit overpriced. I think he needs to be in the 8K range. Like the spot quite a bit for Rudy Gobert. I think he's a pretty sneaky GPP play tomorrow. I think whoever starts, whether it's like Sharp, or it's Noel, Claxton, it's just a really, really good spot for Gobert. So I do like Gobert. Slow-mo Conley, no thank you. I don't think I'll be going to anyone else though. Like McDaniels, you guys know the drill by now. He'll play big minutes, very, very foul prone, but will play the minutes. On to Denver. So if you think this game stays close, I love Jokic tomorrow. Just phenomenal matchup. Probably plays mid 30s minutes. It's not hard to analyze why Jokic is an amazing play tomorrow. I absolutely love him if you think this game stays close. I really like Jamal Murray too if you think this game stays close. I think 7.6K is definitely a bit too cheap, and guards have been absolutely destroying the Spurs. So if you think this game stays close, I like Murray quite a bit. I like Jokic a lot. Gordon, MPJ is secondary plays for me. KCP, fine, has to hit his shots to reach value. Bruce Brown will play mid 20s minutes, reasonable value. Like I said, there's not a lot of value, so on this slate, so you're gonna have to be playing these type of guys. I think it's more of a mid-range day, maybe one sped up, one mid-range. On to the Spurs. So not the best matchup. I believe we have everyone. I want to see who they started last game, because I don't know who they started. Feels like in forever since they have played. Was Vassell out that game? No. It's the 5th, right? Guess it was. Wasn't? Let me just make sure. I feel like Devontae Graham is out one game too. Okay, it was the 5th. Let me see what the starting lineup was, and if they started Vassell. Trey Jones was out, obviously. So, okay. So the pricing is a bit intriguing here. It's not the best matchup. We have Socha and Probable. If they start Trey Jones at 5-3 and he's no longer on a limit, I think it's a very, very safe play. If Vassell plays over 30 minutes, I think he's intriguing for GPPs. Like, these two are good point per minute guys. And I think they would be a little bit too cheap if they play over 30 minutes. I don't like Collins. I think Keldon is fine, always has a ceiling. And then with everyone healthy, I'm not really into too much else. I think it's just the main three guys here for me for the Spurs. On to Toronto. I will go over the Lakers first because Toronto is my favorite GPP team to target tomorrow. And I really like the Toronto guys tomorrow. AD, I think, looks like one of the top spend-ups on the slate with no LeBron. Not the best matchup, but I'm not too concerned about their usage without LeBron. It's just absolutely insane. We have D'Lo back. I assume he'll be on a limit, so that can't go there. That also takes Schroeder out of play. Beasley gets a downgrade. Wouldn't really go to anyone else. I think Austin Reeves probably plays mid-20s minutes. I think he's a perfectly reasonable value, but with D'Lo coming back, that kind of muddies the waters for the Lakers. But I think this is my favorite team to target tomorrow for GPPs. I assume they're going to be low owned too. I do. I think everyone's going to flock to. I think everyone's going to flock to some Atlanta, some Washington, Anthony Davis, Jokic, maybe some Brooklyn. I have a feeling this team might go low owned. It's a phenomenal matchup against Toronto. I think Fred VanVleet's my favorite play on the slate at 8.3K. I think the role right now is just absolutely insane with him. He's playing huge minutes. The matchup could not get better for him. The Lakers play fast. Point guards have been absolutely nuking the Lakers. So I am in love with Fred VanVleet tomorrow. Siakam has taken a hit fantasy-wise with Jakob Poeltl in this offense, but he still does have a ceiling. I'm very, very interested in him for GPPs. Jakob Poeltl, I think, is okay at 6'9", wish he was a little bit cheaper. OG is overpriced. Gary Trent can get hot and can get extended and has slate breaking upside if he can hit his shots is playable. But really, I'm looking to Siakam and Fred VanVleet. I think Fred VanVleet, like I said, is one of my favorite plays on this slate tomorrow. So I hope this helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all later.